Good evening and welcome to the not Flash Game Highlight on bearwithadeathleast.co.uk, where we look at a book for a change. Now, this is not just any kind of book, but a game book in the now 30-year-old fighting fantasy series, pioneered by the great pair of Steve Jackson and Ian Livingstone. For those of you who don't know what fighting fantasy is, well, beyond the fact that you're probably too young for this website, all you need to know is that these books are basically the book equivalents of role-playing games. You don't read these like you would a normal book going from chapter to chapter. Rather, you choose how the story unfolds by choosing what the player character does. In practice, this happens by picking one of several options and flipping to the page corresponding to that section number. Typically, there are 400 enumerated sections. You start at the first and have to make it to the last through a branching path. This was a very popular series back in the 80s, and die-hard fans have been looking forward to a new entry for a very long time, and now Ian Livingstone finally answered these prayers and brought us Blood of the Zombies. Fans of the Elder Scrolls games will absolutely love this thing, as you started the game as a prisoner. Oh well. According to the story, you've been captured and are being held in the castle of a deranged madman who wants to conquer the world with an army of zombies, and it's all up to you to get loose and save the world. So the first thing to note here is that the book takes place in a contemporary setting, which is quite rare in the series, but at least it's in a castle, bringing back memories of both Citadel of Chaos and House of Hell, although those were both written by Steve Jackson. The feeling of nostalgia is great nonetheless. Of course, the great question on everybody's mind is it any better than the old classics? Is it better than Death Trap Dungeon? Is it better than Caverns of the Snow Witch? Is it better than Talisman of Death? Well, no, it's not. Of course it's not. How could it be? The good news, however, is that it's in the same league. It truly is on par with the aforementioned classics. It is very well written, as if Livingstone had not even skipped a year since writing the last fighting fantasy book. It comes with beautiful artwork throughout, it's got an exciting pace, plenty of branching paths, and a couple of pretty difficult combat encounters. Now that brings us to the one part of Blood of the Zombies that hardcore fans will probably hate: the combat. Combat in this book is ridiculously simple. That is, dumbed down to a nearly insulting level. The polite way to say that, of course, is that it was made accessible to a modern audience. But ours has never been a PC website, so we'll call it what it is. It's a dumbed-down combat system designed to appeal to new generation players, which some old-fashioned fans may take offense to. That said, the system is actually not bad. It's weird for sure and seems to make very little sense, but it works because of the sheer number of zombies that you have to slaughter to win this game. Basically, all you have is stamina, which is pretty much your health, which you determine at the start by rolling the dice. For this purpose, images of random dice faces are printed at the bottom of each odd page, which is very convenient. In combat, you do a certain amount of damage depending on what weapon you have. This determines the number of zombies killed, as each zombie only has a 1 hit point. Then, the surviving zombies deal 1 point of damage to you each. So if you fought 12 zombies and killed 4, you take 8 points of damage. As you can see, combat doesn't get much simpler than this, but it does keep up suspense, as at times you run into more than 20 zombies at a time. And even if you have a machine gun, this can be a very challenging fight, so the horror atmosphere is maintained fairly well. One could say that the strongest suit of Blood of the Zombies is that it's very unforgiving. There are multiple unavoidable situations where your life depends on the roll of a dice, and your chance of survival is determined by pure luck. Furthermore, you must kill every zombie, so you have to make sure not to avoid any encounters, which also amps up the suspense level. In summary, Blood of the Zombies is an excellent addition to the fighting fantasy series. Campy, yet it sucks you in with its old-fashioned charm. Highly recommended for everyone, especially diehard fans of the series. Now, we'll just have to wait until Ian Livingstone teams up with Steve Jackson once more and delivers another book set in Alancia for the 40th anniversary, as hinted at in the foreword. We can only hope.